Hello, welcome to Poker Room Review. My name is Crispin. Today we're going to discuss the $500 million deal to sell the WSOP to NSUS Group. They call it NSUS, the owners of GG Network. Now this is a deep dive analysis, so stay tuned for this one because there is a lot to cover. Three main questions in particular. One, what is this deal exactly? Two, who on earth are the NSUS or NSUS Group, and why did both they and Caesars Entertainment pen the deal? And three, why do I think that this deal is awesome? Not only for the people involved, but potentially, fingers crossed, players as well. Okay, so what is this deal? Well, there are many reports. I'm going to be reading from investing.com because I think it is quite relevant, their take. It says, Toronto and Las Vegas, Caesars Entertainment Incorporated, a prominent casino entertainment company, has entered into a definitive agreement to sell the World Series of Poker, WSOP, brand intellectual property rights to NSUS Group Incorporated, an investment group recognized for its iGaming ventures. The sale, totaling $500 million, comprises $250 million in cash and a $250 million promissory note secured by the WSOP intellectual property to be paid 5 years post-closing. In the agreement, Caesars retains the right to host the WSOP's main live tournament series on the Las Vegas Strip for the next 20 years. Caesars branded physical poker rooms will maintain WSOP branding, and Caesars venues will continue to have preferential rights to hold live WSOP circuit events. Caesars Digital is also granted a license by NSUS to run its WSOP online real money poker business in select states with restrictions on other online operations for a specified period. Now, at first you might think, well, not much changes. After all, the WSOP is the most significantly branded live tournament series anywhere on earth. It's continued to be hosted in Las Vegas for the next 2 decades at least. So why is this important? Well, that leads to the next question. Why did the two companies pen the deal? Well, the NSUS Group, and apologies to the great people who run it, my brain won't let me call it answers. The NSUS Group has one of the most sophisticated and interesting corporate structures anywhere on earth. NSUS is a Canadian corporation that operates GGPoker, the world's largest online poker platform, as you probably know. GGPoker is operated through a number of international subsidiaries, including in Malta, the Republic of Ireland, the Isle of Man, and elsewhere. NSUS Limited, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of the parent company, the holding company in Canada, operates GGPoker out of the Republic of Ireland. By registering the IP in the Republic of Ireland, the subsidiary operating companies will lease that IP in order to sell to the customer. Okay, so how does this all work? Well, let's say, for example, you are a headphones company, right? And you want to sell headphones to Australian consumers. What you do is you set up the subsidiary in Australia that manufactures and sells the headphones locally, but rents the patent for those headphones from your company in Ireland that you also control. That rental agreement is a business expense for the subsidiary in Australia. So at least legally speaking, you're not making any profit in Australia from the sale of those headphones because all of that money is being paid to your company in Ireland. Not only is that more profitable, but it also provides legal protection. Let's say your headphones hurt someone's ears in Australia and that person sues the company. Well, they will be able to sue the subsidiary operating in Australia, but not the company in Ireland that actually owns the IP, because all that company is doing is exporting the service of that intellectual property. It's not manufacturing or selling the headphones themselves. The same is true for GGPoker and the group that owns it, NSUS. The IP in this case is the GGPoker Network source code that is leased to the subsidiaries operating everywhere from the Philippines to Latvia to Brazil. Now this brings us back to this specific deal. What is it? Again, if you go back to that article, It's for the intellectual property of the WSOP. What is going to happen is that the NSUS Group will move that IP registration to the Republic of Ireland, where it will then use that branding for its GG around the world. How did this happen? Well, a few years ago, we had COVID. The live poker scene worldwide shut down. For the WSOP to move forward, it had to have an online component, and this led to the WSOP Online. Now the live poker scene has come roaring back, and GGPoker and others have seen the synergy that exists between the online ecosystem and live poker. They really do help each other. People can do their satellites online, win packages online. They can be exposed to the WSOP through their online registration. And conversely, if you go to a live poker event, you might be incentivized to join GG. There is an awareness in the poker ecosystem that quantity has a quality all of its own. Now that GG has really dominated the online space, the way to expand its market is through partnerships with the live poker scene. So it makes a lot of corporate sense for them to permanently embed themselves with the WSOP. To provide WSOP events, satellites, registration through their online network to bring people all across the world to Las Vegas to participate in the WSOP, that'll expand the overall numbers of players. That, of course, is also good for Caesars. But that brings me to why it might be good for players. I have never played in the WSOP. Why is that? I am an Australian citizen. And that means that if I was to do well in the WSOP, I would be paying American taxes. I have to pay an absurd tax rate to Uncle Sam simply because I did well in a poker tournament, which is a gambling event. This is really galling for me as an Australian because in Australia, all gambling winnings are completely tax-free. Now, it's not true for all citizens. If you are a British citizen and you do well in the WSOP, you keep all the money because the US and the UK have a tax treaty that allows for it. But most people around the world don't. And for me personally, I find that to be a huge disincentive. If the IP is moved to another country like the Republic of Ireland, then what Caesars Entertainment is effectively doing is providing a contract for service. They're not owning the WSOP events anymore. They're running a poker tournament on behalf of an international company. That may mean that in the future, if I play the WSOP, I'm not going to be playing in an American registered tournament series. What it would mean is that I'll be playing a tournament registered overseas that is hosted in the United States. Now, I'm using words like may and potential because this is fresh news. I don't 100% know how it's going to play out, but one assumes that the GGPoker is aware of this, and it would be absolutely fantastic if there was a way to structure it so that it wasn't being rorted by playing in the WSOP. I, like everyone else in the world, think that the WSOP main event is the most prestigious, epic, once-in-a-lifetime event you absolutely must play in. I would totally play in it if it wasn't for that galling disincentive. If GGPoker manages to structure it so that players, as well as themselves, do well out of this deal, it has my 100% support. Anyway, that's my kind of quick take response to the news of this deal. I have cautious optimism that this will be really good, not just for the companies involved, but for the players as well. At the very least, the WSOP events hosted on GG will be more attractive to play. Anyway, that's my thoughts. I'd love to hear yours down below, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.